Hi, everybody. Welcome to your San Diego Home Advocate Report with your local home advocate, Marvin Miles. How are you today, Marvin?
Good, doing well.
Excellent. We're back on the biggest topic of them all because they're all hitting the market. We're going to talk about the mindset of people who miss payments. So if you're watching this video, I'm guessing you missed a payment, and we're here to talk about it. The first real mindset that's been coming up throughout the last couple of days, talking about it with the other advocates, denial. You've talked to people who've missed payments. What do you think it is that causes such a high level of denial?
Well, the government has told everybody they don't have to worry about making their payments because we'll bail you out. So, it's one of those cases of also being paid not to work and things that they've had a problem with. So the denial is that they think somebody's going to come rescue them, and it's not going to be. It's just not going to happen. So, and as I said before, is that I think there's a whole bunch of people that are clinically depressed, and whatever it's been COVID or whatever, they need to take action. They need to get moving, and they need to get going. And it's just one of those things that I think the clinical depression just has them, whatever. And the same thing with now we have COVID or Omicron or whatever you have. It just adds to the delays, if you will.
Yeah, I completely agree with you, which takes us to the inactivity. Would you put that under the depression category? The whole do nothing and ignore it, maybe it'll go away. I know when I was younger, I'm going to try to relate for everybody. When I was younger, I never worried about my bills. It was just one of those things when I was younger. But as I had responsibilities in a family and a house like I do today, there's an overwhelming need for me personally to take care of my responsibilities, even if I don't feel good or I'm depressed or whatever the case. That doesn't seem to be the case. There really is something really odd about just ignore it, or it's not real. I like the other one, which kind of falls in the same category. This isn't real.
Well, I guess it falls back upon the same problem we've had, is that they've shut the FICO system down. So there's really not any consequences, because what happens if they don't make their payments? It doesn't follow them. So it's one of our challenges.
Well, that begs the biggest question of them all. Are they facing consequences? Will the banks just go away and let them stay there rent free?
Yeah, well, now the other part, of course, is that we have a number of things going on with our interest rates. So interest rates have gone up. Obviously, we're now at 3.625, and that's basically 1% higher than it was just 90 days ago. So if you take a look at that, how does that, I mean, it all talks about the affordability index, and this is what we've talked about for years, and that is that if rates go up, 1%, and it has so many certain number of people that are no longer able to purchase a home or make, continue the economy going. So it's just, that's like car sales. It's like buying refrigerators, like everything else. It always, has effect. So we, as you have been talking about this for months, is that we knew this was coming. This is not a surprise. And the Federal Reserve had to do this. And they probably going to have one or two more times. They've been talking about it. So it's not popular, but we knew it was coming.
No, it'll probably ultimately before the end of the year be 2, maybe even 3% higher than it actually is. And the prices will come down, whether or not anybody wants to accept it. The prices will come down. So you'll lose your equity that you currently have in your house, which brings us to the biggest point of all. Well, I guess there's two. One, when the prices come down, that's going to create its own set of problems for everybody. I don't know how much panic it will create. From your history, certainly from our history, when prices come down and people paid above market, they tend to not want to continue making their payments.
Well, I have personal experiences that years ago, in the middle 80s, I worked for Shearson American Express. And we sat around tables all the time about, as you have done, all about people that are in default. And it was the most amazing thing for me to hear was that they basically never made their first payment. So, and many people don't know it, but when you make your first payment or you close escrow, your first payment's not until 45 days in the future. So a lot of the people just never made their first payment. They moved in and, so it was the most amazing thing for someone that just like, really? What happened?
Yep. I agree, which takes us to the point of all of this. You who are watching this, whoever you are here in San Diego County, I'm in San Diego, Marvin's in San Diego. If you need help, click the links down below. We're happy to help you. We'll talk to you. We'll give you a hand. It'll be great. You have equity in your house in San Diego County at this moment. Interest rates are going up. It will change the complexity of San Diego County completely. And that's the biggest point here, taking advantage of that equity in that situation right now so you get a maximized return on your dollar. Most of you should have been saving up your money for a rainy day because you weren't paying the bank so that you had something in the future, but many people don't. That's a historical thing. I'm still fascinated that people allow foreclosures to happen, thinking that it'll just pay everything off. I'll get a check in the mail. Everything will be great. It's just simply not the case. From your experience, what is it about just letting this thing go until it's actually foreclosed upon and losing out on equity?
I think that's the biggest. I think it's one of those cases that we don't have the answer for that. The other part of it is that the banks offer a deed in lieu of foreclosure, which means, tell you what, we won't go any further. You just hand us over the property. And I kind of forget that they have $200,000 or $300,000 worth of equity. But it is a device. And of course, as I always have talked about, is that when the banks contact you, they're going to say, I'm a debt collector. I'm not here to help you out. I'm not your friend. I'm here to get our money back. So that's one of the things you have to be aware of. Now, the other part is that there are some other attorneys or other people that are named attorneys that will tell them that what you want to do is you want to go bankrupt, and that way it'll stall everything. Well, it stalls them for a very short time, very 2 or 3 weeks. And they will go into it's federal, so they go into federal court and they ask for a stay of this whole process. And so basically, they're right back where they started 3 weeks or 4 weeks later, and the world is not any better.
There you go. What I think all of you should do if you're watching this video right now and you're wondering what to do, click the link down below. It'll take you to the 9 alternatives to foreclosure. I wrote them up all myself, and there's a form there if you want more information, or our phone number where you can reach us, 833-969-4673. Marvin will call you back.
All right.
If not, his information's you can call him directly. He'd love to hear from you. We're here every week to help you guys get through the next year. We know this is happening. We know you're out there. We know you're getting notices. We know it's scary. Is there anything you'd like to add, Marvin?
No, just obviously we just take a look at the 9 steps, and the idea of it is that we think that a lot of those will apply to just about everybody. There are a couple other things that may not work for you, but glad to sit and talk with you and find out what you get. It's free.